Go.
Good day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Here you come. And today,
we're going to be working on this plum, this devil's plum, which I nicknamed devil's plum because the deadwood in the back looked a little bit like, you know, the flaming devil's face, but that's what we're working on. What are we going to do to it? This plum is starting to move. It's budding out. There's flower buds all over, which is pretty cool because I'm not sure what sort of plum this is, whether it's a fruiting or an ornamental. Fairly certain it's an ornamental because it has redder leaves, which I guess is, you know, an ornamental feature. But we don't know. It could be a fruiting as well because it was collected in the wild. Grew in the ground for 4 years, and that's how fat it got in 4 years. Amazing. And then it's been out of the ground probably another 4 years now, to be honest. So it's probably 8-9 years old from a seedling, but here it is. So today we're going to give it a clean up, just simplify some of the branch structure to create 2 from any one location, not 3. Simplify that, try and keep as many flower buds on as we can. There's a few in here, I'll show you a close-up of that in a minute. And also we're going to give it a repot. So now is perfect time to repot it because it's swelling up. I will let you know a bit of bad news about the repot, by the way. A long time watcher and subscriber thought she would do a great thing and help me out. Which I really appreciate it. You know who you are, thanks very much, and sorry about everything that's happened. But anyway, she's had a bit of a tough time. She tried to organise a pot for me and get it sent to my address, which proved hard. So then she tried to organise a gift card, and something with that fell through. But luckily she got it on PayPal, so she's able to chase it up through PayPal. So she'll get her money back and then, you know, maybe sort out a pot for me. She's, yeah, very generous, and it's just really upsetting that this happened to her. So she specifically, I was going to say specifically wanted a pot for this devil's plum because she felt sorry for this tree in this foam box and thought it was worthy of more than the foam box, which I guess it is now. You know, it's starting to come along quite well. The development on this is crazy. I get to trim it back probably 3 times for the summer, so that means I get 4 lots of ramification for 1 year. It's absolutely mad. All of these branches on here were grown. None of them were here when it was collected out of the ground. It was just a stump, and that's 4 years out of the ground. It's just ridiculous. So some people that say deciduous takes forever, pines is instant. Well, I disagree a little bit with that because pines can take a long time to mature as well, and deciduous can be fast. So here's proof, you know. Yeah, it might not be ready for a show, but I think it's getting pretty close to being ready for its first pot. Anyway, so the deal with the pot is I bought this pot for my coral bark Japanese maple, and because I feel bad about how she's trying to get a pot for this, but it needs repotting now because the buds are swelling, I've decided to sacrifice my Jap maple. Coral bark maple is not going into a bonsai pot this year. I'm going to put the plum in the coral bark's pot, and that's just how it's going to be, which is fine. There's always another year to repot that. And by the way, that is a bit of a late shooter, so if I do get a pot within the next few weeks, I'll be able to pot that as well, but we'll see what happens. Not a big deal anyway. I just thought I'd want to repot this for her because she's, you know, out of the kindness of her heart, done a great thing, good, you know, heart-filled gesture, and just didn't quite pan out. But anyway, let's get into this tree. So let's clean it up. I'll probably do a close-up of cleaning up a little section for you guys. I'll find a really congested up section, and we'll do a bit of a clean up and just show you the process. So let's do that, and then after that maybe, don't want to break that pot, then after that maybe we can go on hyperlapse, and I'll just do a quick clean, super quick clean. It'll be super quick on video anyway. Alright, so let's bring you guys in close so you can see the amount of ramification in no time at all. Just crazy. Okay, so I'll bring you up on this section here. Bear with me, bear with me. I'm winding you guys up, winding you up. Alright, now we're facing down on this branch. Well, actually, I'll get a sheet so I can put it under there, so hopefully it stands out better. Okay guys, I found a crinkly bit of paper. I hope it helps just a little bit. Right, so basically we've got a congested up clump of stuff in here, because basically what I've done is Walter Paul's method of just trimming and hedging, cutting it back hard and getting a lot of shoots. So you can see we got a lot of shoots here. We got to clean it up, but I'm not going to clean it up to the point that some people do and end up with everything in perfect, you know, balance and whatever, because I'm not actually a big fan of that. I like things to be a little bit awkward and a little bit, you know, crazy. So what we've got to do is we've got to come in here and decide what we want to keep out of all this. Okay, so obvious choice would be to get rid of this stub here. Okay, so you want to reduce it back to 2. So here we got 3 coming from one location back here, maybe even 4, though it is slightly separated by that length there. At least one of these still got to come out. Now, if I look at it, you know, this weird looking branch here has got some decent wire scars and it's weird, but then this one here comes straight up as well, and it's a bit of a weird awkward spot. So I'm actually going to choose to keep this weird one, even though it's slightly different to everything else, and just chop that one off just to clean it up a bit. So let's do that. Now there's another branch in here that needs to be cut off as well, and I'll also show you a quick close-up of these buds swelling up. So these buds are really swelling up. Some of them are actually starting to open up. You can see that one there's actually got a couple of little leaves on it. And there's a couple of buds that look slightly different that I reckon are flowers, so that'll be pretty cool. Okay, so now we've done that. There's also a shoot there I want gone. 3 from this spot, so let's cut one of those off. Just cut the one, there's a few things. You cut the one with the least amount of growth and ramification off probably first. Secondly, you cut off something that's crossing back into everything else. And apart from that, just keep the most interesting. So it's all pretty simple. So let's cut that one back. This middle one here is dead, so that chooses that for us. We've got 2 left. I'll shorten that now so it can divide. We'll also come in here, and there's a branch here that's crossing this branch. They're both intertwined and crossing. Something's got to happen there. Now this one here, you can see takes off across this whole lot. I reckon let's get rid of that one completely. Okay, so now we've got that one facing down. In fact, when I have a good look at it, it's probably not needed because we've got all this structure here. It's not needed at all. But there is this little branch back here that I think we should cut it back to. Okay. So let's cut back to there. Okay, so now we've got the 2 branches there, divides out a few times, and now you've got this one here that's crossing everything. Just get rid of that one, get rid of this inside little branch here, the one underneath here, and that's cleaned that up a lot. So now we've got 2. We've got only 2 here with some crazy bends. And what else? We've probably got pretty ugly looking stub here with a lot of growth on it. Okay, we can try chopping it back to only 2. When you chop it back to only 2, also choose the ones with more of an acute angle rather than a big, you know, bullhorn type thing going on, because it does make it look a lot nicer in the transition. Let's cut this one back here. Clean up all the dead shoots. Don't want that one going straight down there. You can see it's sort of fanning out now. Get rid of that one. Got a poor little spider here climbing around. Go. There's one underneath here. We don't need that. This 3rd branch here is nice and weak. Then you've got 2 good ones here. So let's get rid of this weak one. Chop it clean out. Shorten this one back. Shorten that one back. Cut that stub off there. Leave that one, but just shorten it. Shorten that one. Shorten, 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 and you can see you've got only 2 to 2 to 2, and then this one here will divide again, and then these will divide out here, and we'll get a new lot of ramification. Take off this little baby shoot underneath. One back here which we will leave, tiny one. Might be able to just see it on my fingertip. And will we shorten that? No, I think we can leave all that. So arguably you can say we got 3 from this spot, but there was actually a bit of extension before the 2 started up here. And that's what I say about olives. If you always go back to the 1 internode, what will happen as things get older and bigger, you will end up with a big cluster, like it'll look like a cluster like that, even though you did cut it back to 1 internode. So sometimes on a tree with really close internodes, you've actually got to go right back to, you know, you've actually got to go to almost 5 internodes, because 1 is just too close. You may as well just have all your shoots coming out of 1 location. Okay, so that's the view of it from there. I hope you guys can see that. And it's still a crazy looking branch, and that's how I want to keep them. But it is more cleaned up. There is only 2. Here's a little shoot I've got to cut off. There is only 2 from any 1 location. And yeah, that's it. So I'll clean up all the branches like that. Just go through the whole thing. I'll just give you guys a bit of a close-up of a few of the things. Okay, so you can see the branch structure here. Things like that will be cut back, stub will be cut off. Here, actually I will show you this one, because this is a bit different. Okay, I just rubbed off that bud accidentally, so this might not be a good demo on that now. But what I was going to do, I'll do it anyway, because it'll probably back bud. I'll do it anyway, but what I was going to show you guys is, you got 1, 2 like that. Now if I was to come in here and cut that middle one out, it would create what I'm saying about that bullhorn look, you know. So for that one, I would come in and cut this crossing one off. Okay, and then you got that one. Then I would cut this competing one off here. So that's got room to grow. Hopefully it reshoots. I knocked that beautiful bud that was there off. Silly me. Cut off that stub. And then you can see this one here's now been cut back to 2 as well. And you methodically work your way through the tree like that. And you don't have to be Edward Scissorhands mucking around with your snips like a madman. You can just be, you know, we're hobbyists for a reason. We can take all day to work on a tree. We got no time limit. You know, this is the way we unwind. And you don't have to go a bull at the gate trying to work on your tree. You can just take it easy and you know, just take it nice and slow and methodical like that. That branch took what, probably 10 minutes. If every branch took 10 minutes and it took 3 hours, so be it. That's fine. That's what we're here for. This is part of the fun. Developing the tree is part of the fun. Don't try and rush it. So as you can see, there's so many branches, so many shoots, so it's going to be really cool. It's tempting to leave it like that, but if I left everything like that, you would be, you know, you'd be pushing bad structure in some areas, and in the long run it'll bite you in the bum. So we're going to go and clean that up a little bit, but not overly. So probably be on hyperlapse now, and then I'll catch you for the repot. Okay guys, so this here, if it can focus properly, definite flower bud, looks like it's going to be a pink flower, pretty cool. Okay, another one behind it. Another one there near my thumb, almost knocked it off, damn it. And there are leaf buds there. You can see the difference, leaf bud, flower bud. Anyway, let's get to working on this tree. G'day guys, maybe 45 minutes to an hour later, trimmed off a fair few knobs and stuff. When you do that hedge pruning, you do get some knobs, but the beauty is, with the hedge pruning during summer, one, it's easy, you can get across a lot of trees really quick. But another thing too is it creates a lot of back budding, and you get a lot of shoots and things you can cut back to. So I just love the style of this tree. It's just really developing along beautifully. It's quick becoming one of my favorites, really is. I just need more of you guys, that's all. Anyway, so let's get to the repot. The idea of the repot will be just to make it look good in a new pot, but also this hasn't actually been repotted since it got collected 4 or 5 years ago. To be honest, I don't remember whether I flat cut the bottom like an olive or what I did with it. I've got no idea. All I know is I collected it, hollowed it out. A lot of the wood inside has rotted out because I purposely left big hollows, which then rotted, you know, left water in the tree all the time. So a lot of hollows have rotted out. It's actually like this gunky, mucky stuff inside. So eventually it'd probably be good to get in there with a high pressure cleaner, and it would, because I think prunus wood is actually quite fragile. It'll actually probably create something quite interesting with all that, you know, if I really give it a good squirt out. So I might do that, but then again I might not, because it's got its fresh buds on. I don't want to cause trouble with the buds. I might hose the middle out, let it keep rotting for another year, which is fine. I don't like to do exit wounds. I like to, you know, let the middle of the trunk hollow out naturally. But yeah, while it's got all these fresh buds on, I don't want to get the high pressure hose around any of the buds. So it could just well be that I just leave it till next year to clean that out, and I just leave the dirt and the muck in there for now. But anyway, let's, there's not a lot of moss here to save, a few bits and pieces, but a lot of weeds. So let's pull it out the pot, guys, see what we got. Let's see what we got. I think the best way to do these foam boxes, fruit and veg boxes, just to snap them out. I could try to keep it again, we'll see. I'll just see how easy it tries to pull out. But I don't want to knock all the buds and stuff off. So at the end of the day, what's less traumatic for the tree will be what wins. And you'll notice too, like this foam gets all pitted. And it does the same on the inside, and the roots actually grab to the foam. So, you know, at the moment, I don't want to wreck anything. And that looks like it's coming. Okay, let's carefully get this guy up. I say guy because it's ugly. It's got some big scars. Here you go. Got our box back. So you can see how long it's been in that box. It's all, you know, old looking, but she's worked well, done well. If you're carrying these, by the way, you're going to end up with white foam all over you. Just how it is. Just how it is. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get the root rake out and just clear away and just check what sort of roots that we've grown in that time. Bottom wise, let's have a look. You can see a big fat one that's come here, so there must be some bigger ones in there, and that's actually quite hard with roots, so there's a lot of roots, so it's going to take a fair bit of work. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around with my root hook, cleaning the top surface away, creating a hell of a mess, you know, in the shed, hell of a mess. And I'm going to go down until I find some good solid roots. Okay, so there's one here. And hopefully we can get some sort of radiating root base. When I collected it, I don't know what I did, whether I just flat cut all these solid roots or what I did, but we'll see. I hope to be making a mess on my shed floor again because I just cleaned it. But that's bonsai for you. Like I say, I don't want to rush this, so it'll be hard to keep you guys live for all of this because, you know, if I kept you live for the whole thing, it could be 2 or 3 hours, and most people don't have that sort of attention span. And you can tell how long it's been since I've repotted this one because it's even got vermiculite in here. And in my very original soil that I used to use, I used to mix my own potting mix with vermiculite and sometimes scurry, but this time it looks like it didn't get scurry, it just got vermiculite. So that just goes to show how old it is. But yeah, we'll keep cruising around the tree like this, and I guess if anything significant happens, I'll show you, but yeah, like I say, you guys will be around for hours trying to watch. So there's an old root that I've cut. Just give that one a bit of a flick. This one's actually got a fair few feeder roots on it, so I don't really want to go too hard on that one, even though it appears that it's coming from a little bit too high up on the root flare. We'll see what happens with that one in the long run. Yeah, I mean, they're quite hardy trees. You can give them a fairly hard time, but you know, at the same time, I don't want to wreck some of these roots that have spent the last 4 years in here trying to develop. I want to try and keep as many as I can, get as many as I can into that new pot, so that the new pot is, you know, full of roots, and that then the tree can, you know, grow nice and strong from the start of spring all the way through summer without any real big setbacks. I feel if you repot it too hard, especially in our environment here where it's too hot, you can have a fairly slow sort of flush of growth, which really sets the tree back for almost a year, you know. It can almost be a year of slow growth. So you just keep plodding away in here. Keep getting more and more soil out. Just keep going, and eventually what I'll do is, once I get down to a sort of level that I think is pretty right, I'll probably take it out into the hose and just high pressure spray the roots, remembering not to spray any of the branches because, like I say, there's some flower buds and leaf buds there trying to push out, and I don't want to damage those at all. But yeah, really excited. I'm super excited to get this into a decent pot. You know, it's been a long time coming. You know, although it's only been 4 or 5 years out the ground, it's developed quite well, as you can see, and it really does deserve a pot. So we're looking at the back of the tree here. As you can see, that there wood was hard before, and now it's all soft with all this muck, which is fine. I don't mind if the whole middle of the tree hollows out, that's fine. Not a big deal at all. That's what happens in nature, and it'll create its own interesting deadwood feature, or not so much deadwood, you know, deciduous, not so much a deadwood feature as more of just a hollow, you know. So you could, you know, call it like the sleepy hollow type tree. In this instance, it's called the Devil's Plum, and the reason I call it that is because originally this shape here looked like, you know, the devil's face burning with its ears up here or whatever, and it just looked sort of pretty creepy-ish, and that's why it got called that. So we're getting through this root ball pretty well. I'm probably now going to go and hose it outside, I think, and really, you know, expose a lot of these roots at the top, because we're starting to get down to it. Judging by, you know, how deep these are going into the pot, I would suggest that I probably did flat cut a lot of these roots off, and that's how they've developed. But yeah, and it also goes to show it's a really good idea to leave your tree like this. It also goes to show that it's a really good idea to leave your tree in a pot when you first collect it for a fair few years, because it actually makes it grow super well and develop super well. So here you've got a couple of roots that are probably starting to circle, but all in all, it's done really well. So, alright, let's get it out to the hose and see how we go. Absolute mess everywhere. Look at my hands. It's the only part of repotting I don't like is the mess. Just a mess. End result though, bloody beauty. G'day guys, welcome back. Well, we got our, what I like to call the slice of cake off the bottom. That's gone. See you later. You can tease that all out with a root hook or whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, most people that do tease it out end up cutting it off anyway. So you may as well just bite the bullet and cut off to start with. One thing I will say, this here was right near the edge of the pot and I happened to snap it off. It's a nice vein there. There is still some feeder roots there, so let's hope that keeps growing and shooting. So I'm going to bury it at least to that level, hoping that it does. So I can't really lift it up and expose it at the moment. Bit of a pity. If I'd have known that earlier or was more careful, probably could have exposed a little bit more of the root ball. So given that we're not going to expose too much, I'm probably going to be just chopping off a few of the really high parts of the root ball. Okay, so that we can lift it up a bit, but might be a scoria in there. But you know, it's too, even at the back here, the root base is too immature to lift up and expose these roots now. It's not mature enough. You can see these roots here and all over the place. They're just too thin and small. So, you know, it's fine, it's healthy, it's really nice, but we do need to, you know, respect the tree and just sit back and decide that, you know, it's going to be another repot before we can really start to expose some of these roots. They are fattening, don't get me wrong. These new roots are starting to fatten up, but they've got a long ways to go. So, just, you know, give you a look. There's a root base. Pretty cool. Yeah, the tree is super healthy. It's about all, oh, how's this? I'll just get a pair of pliers and I'll show you this. Bear with me, you know. Like always, I'm unorganised, but let's have a look at this with a pair of pliers. I noticed this while I was repotting. If I can get it out. This was tie down for one of the main branches. It's a rusty old screw now. Rusty old screw with a bit of wire on it. That would have been a tie down guide wire for one of the branches. As you guys know, if you watch my channel enough, I love guide wires, so there you go. Alright, next job, let's get the pot. So I'll do that now. Now, I did notice after I bought this pot, it had a bloody chip on it. And I didn't realise when I bought it, there's a bloody chip. So there you go. I got ripped off once again. And then, you know, also I just want to mention again, really sorry for the lady that wanted to buy a pot for this tree. Think of this pot as a pot for this, as a pot that you bought for the tree. And I'll just buy a different pot for that maple. Alright, so I just literally cut a couple of chunks, cover the holes. That's how I do it. And then I just put some bonsai mix straight over the top of that. I don't wire my trees down. I try to protect them from wind for a while. They get subject to wind later on, you know, but that's okay. They seem to be fine, they never seem to roll out. A bit like Nigel Saunders, if I have trouble with a tree that's a bit loose, I'll actually just use rocks and stuff like that. Now, oh shit, oh no, it's alright. I hit this stub here, a fat stub. I thought I might have knocked off a flower bud or something. Now I was really careful not to knock off the flower buds, so when I looked around there's probably only a section here of flower buds, and the rest of it, you know, looks like leaf. It's going to go into leaf, but it'll be pretty cool to see its first bit of flowering. So you can see the root base on that. It's just absolutely epic, crazy. The carving in the back or the hole, it's pretty cool. It's just a really, really gnarly, cool tree. So then, sorry about that noise, is I'm going to put it on here. We're going to move it around a bit. Now, let's do the front. I feel like before the front was probably about there, the back branch is probably hidden a bit too much. So I feel this root here can help out, and it can come around more. And that way you'll see more of the branching. You'll see this strong root. I'll push it back a bit, as much as I dare, to give this root here at the front a chance to shoot back out. There is this other one up higher as well, which I'll leave for now. It'll give a chance for that to shoot back out and you know, develop. So pretty cool. So apart from that, your planting angle, this one looks pretty good, you know, like it's leaning forward, it's not too bad. I don't think I have to muck around with that at all. It's just the, you know, how much do you want to spin it? How much don't you? What do you want to see? What don't you want to see? Happy medium. Happy medium, I reckon, is probably somewhere there. I'll just stand back a bit. So the front of the pot's there. I'll put you guys at the front. You're not even at the front. Yeah, look, I reckon it's a pretty happy medium. If I went that way, what do you think of that way? And then we'll come back this way. Exaggerate it too far that way. It's not bad, but I don't think great. I reckon we might even slightly rotate it that way, just a bit. Right, let's push all these roots in. A bit of wobble, making sure we keep the rotation the same the whole time. Wobble it in. The soil will work its way in the bum of the tree. And now I've got to, you know, fill it up with soil and then put some moss over the top. You know, the moss, some people don't like moss, but I think it adds way more than it takes. I've said it before and I'll say it again because I'm quite passionate about it. Moss not only helps a tree keep cool in summer, which I believe it does, it retains moisture, especially near the surface of the pot because you don't have the hot sun beating down on the pot. So it'll retain moisture, especially on the surface, which gives you probably an extra third growing area for the roots. It means that they've got an extra third that they can grow in. And it's only a benefit as far as I can see. And okay, yes, you can get moss on a corky tree and it can start to wreck your bark. But that's up to you to keep an eye on that and keep it away from that corky bark if that's what you like and you don't want to lose. It's up to you to, you know, keep washing it off of that bark so that you don't lose it. And another massive plus is when you repot. Moss keeps all your soil where you want it in the pot. So if you mound up around a root, say you've got a high root ball here that doesn't actually end up in the pot properly, you can mound up the soil there, put the moss over it, and then when you water, the soil doesn't wash away and you don't end up with exposed roots. It can really help with that as well. And then by the time you repot next time, those roots have grown into the soil with the help of the moss protecting them, and then you can expose those roots a bit more and all that sort of gizzo. But anyway, moss I think is a necessity. There'll be people out there that don't agree with me. That's up to you. If you don't believe you should have moss in a bonsai pot, well, it's up to you. But for me, especially in the Australian climate, if you can keep some moss in your pot, I think it's a plus. Anyway, with all my dribbling on, we're almost repotted here. Almost done. So I've got a high patch of roots at the back here, which I've got to really pile up with this bonsai soil. By the way, this is Debco bonsai soil. I found a local source, or my mate Phil found the local source, and really happy to have found that. But anyway, it's not a bad mix, you know. For Australia, it's not a bad mix. For a commercial brand mix, you can't fault it too much. So, like I say, I'm burying a lot of this stuff. We're not going to see a good root flare or anything like that. You guys have seen this tree naked. This tree's been more naked than most of us are willing to do. And you've seen it's got quite a good root system. Quite a good wide base. A lot better than most of you blokes out there, including myself. It's got a really good base. Quite a nice sized one. So let's get some moss on there now. And we're happy. He's happy, we're happy, I'm happy. Now, I collected some moss earlier. Move all these tools out the way. Now this is probably turning into quite a long video again, but that's just my style. I actually, to be honest, some people say, oh, you should do shorter videos. But I have to say, when I watch YouTube, if a video is too short, I actually skip past it because it's not going to keep me entertained for long enough. So if I look at a video and it says, oh yeah, it's only 7 minutes and it's about bonsai, quite often I actually skip over it because I'm like, well, in 7 minutes I've got to choose something else to watch. But if I see a really nice, really nice long one, I see Nigel Saunders has got some really good long ones as well going on. One of my favourite blokes out there. I'm more inclined to watch a nice long video rather than a short one because I know that for the next hour I'm set, you know. I'm set to sit and watch. Let me know what you guys think, you know. You rather short or long? I mean, it's probably not going to change what I do because I'm pretty happy doing these long ones, and I mean, to be honest, I don't know how I can do them shorter because there's a lot of information to pack into a video, especially one like this where you trim it and then you repot it. You're dealing with a root system that's not strong enough to expose, you know, all that stuff. You don't want to cut off your flower buds. You want it to look wild and natural, but you don't want to, you know, have it with big stubs, all sorts of stuff. It's hard, if you want to try and fit that into a video, go for it, but it's really hard to fit all that information into a short little video. And like I say, me as a viewer of other people's bonsai channels, I don't like that anyway. Short videos to me doesn't keep me entertained for long enough. So anyway, got the long videos going on. Most of mine do end up quite long, some of them short. Oh, also guys, if you don't know, I've started up a Facebook group called No Rules Bonsai. So you guys want to go on there and join up. There's no approval process, nothing, you just join up. And then you can post pictures of your trees. So I basically, I don't know, I would lose everyone's pictures of their trees. And I thought as a good way of everyone being able to show their trees, probably if I started up a group on Facebook, everyone can show their trees and share them and comment and stuff. And so I started up a Facebook group called No Rules Bonsai. So if you guys want to go and check it out, check it out. And if you want to show your trees, go on there and show your trees, you know, don't be shy. You got any questions, if you're a beginner, you got questions, whatever, me or someone else will try and answer them. I'm a little bit lazy on Facebook, as you know, members of that group would know, with the spam and stuff that we were getting on there. But we got a bloke on there called, well shit, I hope I get his name right, Jeff Bray, I think was his name. He's sorting out all the spam now, so that's good. The group's pretty well exploded, more than I thought it would. I reckon you guys have already clocked it up to over 1.1k in only a couple of months it's been running, so that's pretty cool. So join that. What else was I gonna say? Anyway, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, enjoy your bonsai, you know. The main thing we do, we enjoy, well, the main reason we do it is for enjoyment. And us hobbyists, you know, that's why we do it, for enjoyment, relax, de-stress, whatever your reason is, probably all of the above. Keep doing what you're doing. I love doing it and I'll keep doing it, and today has brought me a lot of excitement repotting this into a pot, because it's the first time it's been in a decent pot, and this is a pretty decent pot, by the way. Pretty excited. So anyway, collected that moss outside. I've had a lot of rain, so I've got, you know, acres of moss at the moment. Summertime it's harder, but times like now it's quite easy. Alright, so I'll clean the table, put it on here, I'll clean the pot. If you guys want to know how to clean a pot, I'll show you. Okay, just grab a bit of WD-40, spray it on a rag, bit of WD-40. Don't get it on the tree like I just did, because it's probably don't like it. But just put on a rag and wipe the pot. And then try and keep everything inside the pot so it looks really nice. And just do that around the whole thing. But first we're going to clean the table. Give you guys a spin in a minute. Hang on. G'day guys, well, she's all ready to go. She's all trimmed up. She's looking beautiful. Pot's clean. We'll just wet down the moss a bit, you know, make it look nice. And you know, I'll take this outside and give it a good water. Anyway, give you a spin of the tree. Pretty happy with how it's going. You know, like I say, it's only 4 years out the ground, probably 4 years in the ground, 3 or 4 years. So it's doing really well. Wash the dirt out the moss. And you can see at the back here we've got this big mound of roots that I've covered over with moss and some soil. And like I say, the moss really helps protect all that. It's a great way of doing it. Nothing more to say about that. I think moss is great. Anyway, cheers for watching, guys. Also stick around for some bloopers at the end of me mate, and you guys will enjoy. So no worries. Cheers for watching. Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your mates about the channel. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers. Bloody beauty. Hang on, I'll go a bit closer. Turn off the car, turn off the car. Okay, ready? Come on, dog.
I won't look.
We'll turn away.
Cut.
Cut. Okay, another attempt, dog.
Stop laughing at me. Stop laughing. You're laughing, dude. No, I gotta. Good eye.
Now you can do the next one. Or no, try and do the whole thing again.
Good eye. Oh, you laughing?
Because you started laughing, dude.
Hold on.
Go, dog, go.
Good eye. Aussie. I can't, I officially give up.
No, you can't give up.
No, don't give up.
Good eye. Good eye. Aussie Bonds. I can't do it.
You can do it. You can. You got this.
You got it.
Good eye. Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Yeah. How you going? And tonight.
You got it, dog. You got it.